What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 47. Episode number 47. 47. We are almost fucking over the hill, guys. 50 years old. Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
I mean, I thought you were already 50.
Fuck you, man. God, dude.
At least we still look beautiful.
Jeez, you. I mean, you're out there outshining us all, bro.
Man.
I mean,
I was all dressed up for this one.
You know, now we just need the shades
There's
on.
a lot to be excited about this episode.
Yeah, there is. This is gonna be a really chock full episode. We got a lot to talk about. But again, episode 47, guys, live right here on the Pre-Patch Podcast.
I'm actually in a tux. You guys just can't tell.
Yeah, right?
It is.
Yep. But yeah, it's Thursday. It's 10:30 Eastern. It means that we're doing a damn thing, right? And we got everybody here again, which is awesome. And we minor technical difficulties, but nothing too bad. We were able to kind of get through everything. Twitch wanted to fucking reset everybody's goddamn stream key. So that was fun.
Thanks, Twitch.
Thank you, Twitch.
Always keeping us on our toes.
Yeah. So, and then we don't ever get, there's not one week that somebody does not go, that we don't go by where we have to deal with some kind of new audio issue or whatever else. Scruffy got a brand new goddamn PC and a new audio interface. So that's going to fucking be all over the place.
Something's going to happen. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
At least it hasn't been Discord recently.
No, don't say it though, man. Don't fucking jinx it.
You just piss him off even more, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
It'll be like that Akshan Yumi night. You know?
I'm one step away from just blowing it all up, man. Just finding another fucking platform to use. But no, we got the whole crew here, guys. It's gonna be a great show tonight. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from Twitch news, new gaming stuff. Obviously, there is Facebook news, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it's a whole lot of shit to talk about. I think everybody on this show has got something that they're excited about, which is really great. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off. But just as a reminder, we are live right across Twitch and YouTube. Whether you're on Bill's YouTube channel or you're on our Twitch channels here, we're live, or you can catch us after the fact across any really of your platforms that you want to listen to podcasts on. Apple, Google, whatever. I mean, there's 100,000 different apps you can go out there and find us on. Go find us on one of those. !show in the channel will get you the link.
Let's bring that back. We're not on 100,000 different apps. Let's be completely straight. We're on 8.
Well,
that's
equivalent. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait. I have a question though, because technically, if it's sending the feed out to Google and to Apple, and then you download the feed, like an app from that, like for instance, I use Podcaster, which pulls from Google, so I can get it on that app. So technically we are, I mean, if you're
on a lot, then
if your podcast app isn't fucking jank, then it should pull from one of those places and you should be able to find us. If you don't tell us, because we don't want to know. I could care less.
I'm just saying, officially we're on 8. That's a little bit more, or a little bit less than 100,000. I'm just
not by much.
We're out there, man.
We're not by much. I mean, soon we're gonna be on OnlyFans. So Scruffy's gonna start an OnlyFans account. Yep. He's gonna show you what's under the beanie.
What are you talking about? He already has one. That's where I get all my feet pics from.
That's where the premium. That's where the Pre-Patch Podcast After Dark goes. Is
that's why you see where you see why they actually call me Scruffy.
Yeah, that, or we go to the new So okay, I can't even say the joke now because you took the wind out of my sails. That one's just better. I was gonna say that we go to the new Twitch channel that Twitch created just for Amaranth. That's Animals and Scruffy. That's the title of it. It's just Animals and Scruffy. So.
Oh gosh, the two top streamers right there, Amaranth and Scruffy.
Amaranth and Agent Scruffy. Oh man, that's
the collab of the century. Honestly.
What do we have to do to get our own dedicated channel? Like, can we get it that Twitch? Can we get a dedicated channel just for the Pre-Patch Podcast? Like, I don't know, whatever.
I thought that was what they made podcasts and talk shows for.
But
they did make that for us, but
they did. But anyway, all right, we're already derailing. Goddamn. Okay, so Twitch news and YouTube news. Actually, on new things on both sides. So
news.
We kind of mentioned one thing. Twitch made a new channel. Whatever. Amaranth went to the top of it. No shocker. that girl finds a new way to get on top of.
What's the name of the channel, by the way? Like, what's the category, just for
It's
anybody
like
that's
animals
not
or some shit.
It's like animals and zoos or
Zoos
something like that.
and
I legitimately think it's like it's
Yeah.
called animals and some shit. I think that's the official title. It's
Wouldn't
something with
surprise me.
animals, man. It's animal something. Animal.
I'm pretty sure it's animals, zoos, and aquariums.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I don't know. But she immediately shot to the top of that. You know,
Yeah.
so
I mean, of course. I mean,
Well, she had already been doing them from what I
Yeah.
from what I understand. She'd already been doing like actual streams of that kind of shit, and then Twitch was like, oh, okay, well, we'll just make you an entire category because
because you're Amaranth.
is this because she wears like those horse masks or whatever and like
I don't fucking know,
whispers
man.
sweet nothing?
No,
into
she
your
owns
ear?
a horse and she goes out to her ranch every once or like this ranch every once in a while. So we're giving her more information, more time than I wanted to give. But
Right.
yeah, that's what she does. So it's there. If you want to go see zoo animals and Amaranth, you can do. That's where you can go see it. So, but yeah. The other Twitch news is that they did make, and this is more or less just kind of a quick mention because it is something that's important, I think, for people to know if you are on Twitch and for moderators to know. They brought a feature in and then removed a feature immediately because they said it was early access or early release, which was the thing about if you ban somebody, it would unfollow them from your channel. And this is a way to stop people from spam follows, spam, all of this kind of stuff, you know, whatever, their answer to hate raids, whatever you want to call it. But essentially the problem is now that if you are like, so for instance, I've done it to Enigma where he's pissed me off and I'm just like, fuck you, Enigma, and I banned him for like a second. Well, now it would technically unfollow him, or it would make him unfollow me. So you
I never followed you anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
feelings mutual, buddy. I want my gifted subs back. Give them back.
I don't see why, honestly, though, it wouldn't do that in the first place. I think that's a great feature for any band to have. I know there's those times where people joke around and stuff, but I mean, like, don't joke around and ban your friends for real.
Yeah, well, that's what the purge.
Out.
That's what the purge.
Yeah, I was about to say. Anytime I'm fucking around, it's always a timeout and it's never a full ban.
Yeah, so I wish they would just bring that back and not have gotten rid of it.
Welcome to the game only times people out whenever you beat their hack. So
yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, it's out there. The bigger news is YouTube, and we're kind of gonna mention it because not necessarily gonna talk too much about it in the sense of not because it's not important, but because I think we're all waiting just to see if this actually does come to light.
It's a lot of talk, nothing of substance as far as we see.
But YouTube came out, the head of YouTube Gaming came out last week and tweeted out a video that basically kind of outlines their going strategy going forward. It outlines a lot of stuff. It's mainly focused on gaming and, you know, pretty heavily on the live streaming side, but it talks a lot about like shorts and VODs. It talks about their algorithm, what they're looking at doing with like moderator chat and just chat in general. It's not called gifted subs, it's called gifted memberships. So all of the things that like we have on this show mentioned multiple times that needs to happen with YouTube, you know, to make it
looks like it's happening
more legitimate, you know, and more in the streaming space. Yeah, it looks like it's actually taking effect. Again, this has all been like you know, it's 2022. What that means, when is it going to happen? We don't know. When it starts to happen, great. Like, you know, we'll start to kind of talk more about it. But it does show, I think, an onus of YouTube to be like, okay, we need to take this more seriously. You know, but again, we've seen this before with Twitch. We've seen this before with YouTube, with Mixer, you know, Facebook. They all like, we're going to do it going into 2022 or the next year. And then we never see any of it. So who knows?
Yeah.
You know,
my biggest exciting thing is, yeah, they're taking a bunch of features that Twitch has and they're like trying to make it. I honestly feel like it's a play just to make it so that people that do come over from Twitch have a basically mirroring the experience so that it's more accessible to a Twitch audience specifically.
Right.
But the biggest thing that they mentioned that I was excited about is they're working the algorithm for live streams more specifically. So
yeah,
whatever that means, I don't know if live streaming is going to get its own like section of the YouTube homepage, because the homepage and the like sidebar beside videos after you watch a video, the like recommended sidebar is where 90% of click-throughs go. So if they're going to be pushing live streams to those more prevalently, that would be pretty dope.
They definitely need to section it off if that's a thing too, because the homepage is, in my opinion, like a mess. Like it's an organized mess.
Yeah, no, it's not even organized.
I mean, it's all of your random ass videos that are recommended to you, and you watch. But if there's a live stream just scattered throughout there, I'm not going to be able to sort from that, pick between that. Yeah,
the only thing you have difference between a regular video and a live stream right now is it has live in the bottom.
A little live,
yeah.
So the conversation or rumor that has been floating around and kind of pics that have been floating around of what this may possibly look like is that they're actually going to have the top. So basically now how it has your recommended, it has all your videos, right? That actually above that fold and above that line is going to be live, and it's going to be live recommended videos based on what you view. So, but it will be that'll be a live section of all things that are live that are in that vein, whether it be Bloodborne style stuff, whether it be Lost Ark stuff, whether it be Final Fantasy stuff and Scruffy, all the fucking weird games you play, all that shit, Terraria, whatever, it'll be there, like as in live content.
And then
right
everything
there.
below
that is just
like
VODs.
Standard feed.
Right.
Yeah.
Standard
Does
VODs.
YouTube have like game categories? I know they have like.
Yeah, so they do, but like
you kind of can set your game, right?
It's what are you talking about? So for live streams, yeah, you can set your game.
Live streams.
Yeah, you can 100% set your game. It's not friendly in the sense, and this is the things that I'm hoping that they're going to work on too, is it's not friendly in the sense of like if you are switching games, where the way that the live streams go, and I don't think this will ever change. I don't think YouTube will make it to where it makes it easy just to split those VODs up, because if you switch a game midstream and then you end it, whatever you ended that stream on or started that stream on, I believe you started that game on, that's what it's going to create the VOD as. Now
I don't think it's that far off, honestly, with the chapter system and the way that they have been working with that technology. I don't see why they can't have like the gaming split off into chapters. Like this is say for instance, I'm doing a stream. This is the Final Fantasy 14 chapter followed by the Elden Ring chapter. Like depending on whenever I switch off that game, it like chapter splits it off as soon as I select another game category and kind of pushes it forward there.
I mean, that's what Twitch does. I mean, when you go to the VODs on Twitch, I mean, it'll show the first game that they played, and then if you hover over it, it'll drop down all the other games in that stream that they played at timestamps.
Yeah, I just don't. Well, I mean, maybe YouTube will do it, but in any case,
it would be sophisticated. It would be honestly great because then both of those games could be fed into an algorithm. I could see people potentially abusing it and just like spamming a whole bunch of things, but then their video would be a clusterfuck of chapters. So maybe it would work itself out.
I don't know. I mean, in any case, to say that this is a move in the right direction if they go in that direction, right? If they actually implement these things, it now starts to become where YouTube is a threat to Twitch. And I think Twitch really does understand. I think Twitch does see YouTube as the biggest threat. Facebook is whatever, man, or Meta or whatever the fuck it's called now. Is a joke. But I think they see YouTube as like if they take it seriously, that this could become a more serious threat.
I still laughed. Like my favorite part of that entire video was when he was like, "Hey, we're focusing on doing this and this and this, and we're going to put our own unique spin on things. We're going to do live streams." Yeah, because that's unique, and we're gonna do shorts, the things that we've been doing for 4 years. And
that's a rip off of TikTok,
and TikTok's been doing forever. It just cracked me up. I was like, okay, YouTube.
Well,
I do think it's nice to have one condensed space for all of that style of content. Like you have your VOD, you have your shorts, you have your live streams. In theory, it's like a content creator's paradise. It's how they implement it moving forward. If they actually give a shit
definitely
about
in theory.
Shorts. Because at this point, shorts started out as like a meta hack basically, and now it's dumbed down to the point where it's barely even worth posting a short anymore.
Right.
Live streams, I don't know if they ever had their time to shine, but it looks like they might be working with that soon. Again, 2022, we'll see.
Yeah. And the biggest thing there is that Twitch is a black hole for like content creation. I mean, if you like, people that go to Twitch are only on Twitch. They don't go, and especially in my new job, like I'm kind of focusing on this kind of stuff. Like Twitch, once you pull someone to Twitch, it's very hard to pull them anywhere else. YouTube is, it is nice to be able to have all of that stuff in one spot, because that YouTube pays the most. YouTube is really the best place for, organic algorithmic growth. Let's hope they give the tools that everyone needs.
Facebook has the best profit margin, though.
Yeah, well, that's because
for the one thing that Facebook has going for it, it has, if you want to get paid to live stream, Facebook
that's if you can get to the point of actually getting paid, though. If you actually, like, I've delved, like, this is a whole other conversation. I've delved in those analytics, though, and it's not. YouTube is still they offer the best cut. Like, Facebook offers you the best cut because they're offering you 100%. That's if you can make it there, and actually earn it. So,
plus Facebook's pay to win features way better than Twitch's.
It's meta.
Yeah, it's meta.
Metas.
Yeah. I don't even think we're I don't even think we're allowed to call it meta, honestly, because it's not even official yet. Meta is there's a fucking PC company there's a PC company that owns the name. Meta.
I mean, you really think that Facebook's not going to just be like, hey, bro, here's a couple $1 million. Fuck you, get out of here.
Just buy it.
No, well, they offered him $20 million, and Facebook is holding right now. They're saying they're not willing to pay $20 million for the name. So I'm just saying.
Wild.
Just saying. It's news.
Let's see.
So Billy Boo, we're gonna start off with you, man, and games at what we've been playing. So hit me up with this, man. What is this that we are looking at?
So we have been playing on the Billy the Squid YouTube live stream the Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod. It is a basically complete rehash of the Dark Souls 3 systems, how things work within the game. They added a bunch of new spells. They added a bunch of stuff from like Bloodborne into the game. This mod was developed before Sekiro was a thing. There's another mod out there called the Convergence that takes a lot of Sekiro elements as well. But it's basically a conglomeration of like a bunch of stuff from the past games like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, new spells, new weapon types, and they actually went as far as to add a few unique bosses. Like you'll wander into an area and a boss scene will just like trigger and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then this big dude will just come out from around the corner. It's been a lot of fun. It's a really refreshing way to play through Dark Souls 3 as somebody who's played through the game way too many times. The spell that you're seeing right now on the screen, if you're watching, is something that's completely new to the game. And it seems like the magic systems were the big focus for this. Yes, they added a bunch of different weapons, but magic and making magic more viable seem to have been the ideal focus, which is why in the run that I've been doing, it's a magic only build. I don't have a physical weapon at all, just exclusively using spells. What they did was they made it so that your FP, which is the blue bar below your health, it regens on its own. After X amount of time of not casting, it will start regenning on its own, making it so that you don't have to worry about, like in the original Dark Souls 3, you had the health flask and the blue flask, and you had to divvy between those two. This, you don't have to worry about blue flask. Blue flask isn't even in this game. It's all based on regen systems, and there's rings and equipment that will modify that regen. Like I've got a ring on right now. Anytime I kill something, I regen 25% of my FP bar.
Do you prefer that to the blue essence, gold essence flask?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. It makes it so that pure casting is viable at the very least.
Right.
Early games specifically, pure caster was impossible to do. You needed a physical weapon to be able to proceed, just because at the beginning of the game you didn't have enough FP to actually get enough cast out. You didn't have enough blue Estus to actually recharge like you needed to.
Right.
This makes it so that the early game's a lot more manageable. And honestly, it doesn't seem to... I would imagine PvP and stuff along those lines would be pretty unbalanced, but there is a PvP scene within the mod itself.
That's cool. I didn't know you could actually mod the game and do PvP and like multiplayer still.
Yeah, so whenever you have a modded version of the game, obviously From Software knows that you're running a modified version of their game. They ban you. But the way that their bans work is they put you with other people that are banned through the same reason. So you're getting paired up exclusively once you get banned with other people playing the Cinders mod. I have an alternate Steam account that I just family share to, and it works out that way just fine.
That's cool.
Why don't
so it's like hacker lobbies?
Yeah, it's hacker lobbies basically.
Do you think that they'll get out of that concept of being like I guess such against like modders? Like, I mean, I understand.
I think this is honestly the healthiest way to deal with the modding community. It basically funnels everybody that is modding the game into a lobby together. Yes, you have to make an alternate Steam account to do it, but it's making an alternate Steam account's really not that huge of a deal. It's just setting up an email and then family sharing it.
Right.
It's
yeah.
I don't.
mean, that's all part of modding. I think that's actually a pretty clever way of doing it.
And from what I understand, it actually is like sophisticated enough, whatever their modding system is, where it actually detects which mod you're running and puts you into like hacker lobbies with other people running the same mod. So I'm not going to invade somebody playing the convergence mod just because we are both quote unquote hacking.
Right.
It actually kind of shifts people.
Huh. I would just. I mean, at some point, I would hope that they would just kind of embrace the modder, kind of, especially after seeing something like this. Because I mean, again, I guess I'd never like this is like you talking about it and you kind of doing these streams has been the first time I've actually seen like full blown modded Dark Souls content that's actually decent. And I'm wondering if maybe now like From Software will kind of be like, oh, like this shit's taking off, and it's been
I think in a way of how they're doing it, it's almost like they are embracing it. I don't think it's like the hacker lobbies are something they're shunning on. I think it's just a clever way of routing people to play together like this.
The only reason I think they're funneling people is because you don't want people running base game doing PvP or invading or being invaded by people running one of the modded games, because that would be blatantly unfair. If you get invaded by somebody that has FP regen and these wild spells that aren't even available in the base game, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, at that point, that's literally game breaking and compatibility breaking.
What happens when you want to go back and play vanilla?
You just go to your regular Steam account.
I have that on my main Steam account. So basically,
that's weird. I don't know what. So weird. you have to have two accounts in order to play the base level game.
I mean, I guess
I have my main account for the base game, and then I have an alternate account that I family share to for my modded runs. Yes,
because that's pretty simple.
That was one issue that I know one of my buddies, Ataxis, had with it. He was trying to play recently with another of our friends, Shalador. They like to play. They like to go back and play this stuff every once in a while. And he went through and did some kind of modding, and now he's soft banned on his main account.
And they do I think every 2 or 3 months they re-up their ban, so he'll get unbanned potentially as long as there hasn't been any like hacked versions of the game run on his main account. But just for safety, everything that I read online said that the family share method, they do account bans, they don't do IP bans or anything like that. They don't care enough to do that. So
I'll have to let him know that, because he was like majorly pissed off about that, like to the point that he just uninstalled it. He was like, "Fuck this game, I'm done."
I mean, I think one of the things they could do, and again, not saying it's like, I understand it. Hey, they're kind of like saying, yeah, it's fine, just you'll have to go through this step to do it, like whatever. I think they could get around it by just having a toggle switch that says, hey, I'm playing modded content, like literally. And as soon as you load a mod, it toggles that on, and you can't untoggle it unless you uninstall or off the mod. Like that, I mean, versus banning someone's account, because again, if that would have happened to me and I didn't know you, Bill, I'd be like, what the fuck? I mean, or whatever else. I mean, obviously you could YouTube it or Google it and find out, but I don't know. Anyway,
I see what you're saying. My only issue that I could see coming from that is people finding workarounds to put modded versions of the game or hacked versions of the game into base game, even through that toggle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's working, it's working. Right? So,
well, but it's been a lot of fun. This is one of the more fun runs that I've had through Dark Souls 3. It is nice seeing, like, they've modified all the bosses too, so that they are more difficult to keep up with, like, everything that they've added into the game. So it's been a really fun time.
It's cool.
So as you can see here, also one last thing about this: whenever you beat a boss, you get a tome for that boss, and you're able to refight those bosses as many times as you want to, and it gives you like the souls from that boss as well as the boss soul. So in the original version of the game, you had to go through multiple playthroughs to get like every boss weapon or boss item that you would need. This, you can just refight the boss 2 or 3 times and be able to get all of those in your single run.
Oh, kind of
It's
like
a really nice
Remnant.
quality of life thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. While we're on it, I'm going to shuffle things around. Normally we go to news and then kind of whatever else, but this is all pertinent to kind of Bloodborne and Dark Souls and everything else. Bill, talk about it, man. Obviously, there was a good amount of stuff that came out about Elden Ring.
Yeah, so this morning, we got 15 minutes of Elden Ring gameplay. I looked it up, and what the top creators were saying is this is the same footage that they saw a month and a half ago, but it's been updated graphically, and like the engine's been upgraded. It's the exact same like scenes and stuff, but it is upgraded to a more current version of the game. So it was really cool.
Is this the current build?
It's not the current build.
Is it 3 months back?
Yeah, it was the PC version of the game. And so it's obviously what the game's going to look like at its peak. I wish that more companies would go away from like showing what's I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I like that they show like what it's going to look like at the top, but that gives people that have like PS4 or like Xbox One a false impression of what they can expect. Regardless, the game looks very, very good. It's very exciting. 15 minutes of gameplay, 15 minutes of unfiltered gameplay. They did shuffle around and scene switch a lot, but the only thing we really didn't see from that gameplay reveal was the HUD system. We don't know what the health's like. We don't know how FP is going to work. But there's a lot of stuff in Elden Ring.
I didn't really get a chance to watch it. Was there anything that stuck out to you?
There's a ton. So for one, it's open world, so there's a mount system. It's a spirit cow that you can like summon wherever. And yeah, it's a cow. It's a cow.
That's cool.
There's mounted combat. So you can swing sword on horseback. You can cast spell on horseback.
That's not a horseback. It's a cow.
Cowback.
Cowback.
There are what else is there? There is a world map that you can put markers on to, and then those markers make pillars of light on the real world environment. So you can like look off in the distance and see a pillar of light to show what the marker was that you just put down on the map. I thought that was really neat.
That you can run to on your cow.
On your cow, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cow. There's world bosses in the open world, so you're going to be riding around on your cow, and then a big dragon's going to come out of the sky and knock you off your cow.
Why a cow? Why the fuck did they choose a cow, man?
Because it's
so many other things they could do. They chose a fucking cow. Let's go, Bessie.
It's loosely Norse mythology and cows. I don't know if there's anything to do with cows in Norse mythology, but
I know in Hindu,
not that I know of. No,
there is, but
fucking it looks like a longhorn, basically.
Oh, we're going a longhorn now, are we?
I can't even milk it.
I could be Don Quixote. Don Quixote.
Jesus Christ! All
right. It's got a day-night cycle. It's got a weather cycle. So depending on the time of day, different world events are going to happen. So you're going to be timing those types of things. Overworld maps similar to what like a Skyrim would have, where you go into a cave or a catacomb and stuff like that. There's going to be loot there. Jump button. It's got a jump button.
Jump button.
And it's functional.
Yep, it's very functional. And I originally was skeptical about it because the only game outside of Sekiro that had a jump button, and Sekiro with its movement system, the super like long and floaty jump made sense because you're a shinobi. In Hellpoint, that was the only other Souls-like that I've played that had a jump button. And that game's jump button, I understand it's in space and shit, but it was floaty as fuck. So this one seems a lot more grounded.
So I'm curious. Is this supposed to be set in Norse mythology?
It's so George R.R. Martin, you know him well, took inspiration from Norse. Penis. Took inspiration, like took some like inspiration from Norse mythology and then built his own world. So it's
Gotcha.
not necessarily Norse mythology.
Yeah, because the only cow
it's
that
Norse inspired.
Yeah, the only cow that I know of is the one that Ymir was like fed off
Yeah,
of.
you can see the cow now on the trailer. But there's like an Erd tree, like a giant tree of light that connects the lands between, and all this other fun shit.
Oh, the cow flies too. It's fucking.
Oh
Wow.
god.
Oh wow, look at
Why
him
is
go.
George R. R. Martin so fucking weird, man? Like I don't understand. Is there a lot of dicks in this game? Is that going to be a thing? Like,
I
dude,
don't know,
the
man.
dude has an unnatural infatuation with penis. I'm not blaming him. You know, like if he's into it, he's into it. Like that's entirely his prerogative. You know, but
Oh man.
Yeah. But jump button, it's actually functional in combat. There's stealth mechanics like what there was in Sekiro. There are So in like Dark Souls 3, you had weapon arts that were tied to weapons. The weapon arts in this game are actually equipables so that you can pair up virtually any weapon loosely is what they're kind of saying. But
can I dual wield shields?
You can.
Fuck
dual wield
yes, I
shields.
love it. It's already legit.
Dark Souls 3 had dual
coming out.
like great shields that you pushed together and it made a door, and then you would just run at people with them. I'm assuming
cool.
something like that.
Just open it up like hello.
That's one thing that I've always wanted in like my fantasy games is like a class or something that like Final Fantasy. We just did a fight with you the other day. The fucking guy, the old man beatdown that we did with you in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, with the dual shields.
Yeah, he's the guy that had like these two shield cannons, and I've always been like, bro, why can't I have that as my character? Like that'd be a dope ass tank.
That would be sweet.
For reals though. But there's a lot of Dark Souls 3 inspiration. There's a lot of Sekiro inspiration. They definitely are pulling a little bit more asset wise from those two games than I may like. It's enough to recognize and see, oh, that's a dude on horseback, and it looks oddly similar to the horseback dude in Sekiro. No, that guy's on a horse.
Why is that guy on a horse, but we're on a cow?
Moo.
Because cows are superior.
Fucking question, my dude.
Yeah, they say move out the way.
Yeah, so you got to get a move on.
God.
But even though there's a lot of assets borrowed, it's the most polished game that I think From Software has put out. There's not very much jank that you usually see with a From Software game, mainly in the spellcasting department. I know I've been just focusing on spellcasting in this podcast, but the animations for actual casting, it's not just hold a stick up, a light comes out of it, and then you put your stick down, and then you wash, rinse, repeat. There's actually you're actually
shall not pass.
You're flourishing the staff as you cast, so it's neat.
Cool.
Sounds like you're motivated to play it.
I'm very excited. Very, very excited.
We're actually gonna jump one more time to something else because it is pertinent to this.
We're jumping.
I don't know if you've seen this, Bill, but you need to see this.
I saw it about 2 months ago when it was like they only had up to Father Gascoigne.
So if you are a Souls fan, right, or Bloodborne fan, and you're a PC player, you've asked for one thing and one thing only. Be like, hey, can we get Bloodborne on PC? Like, can we just get that over to PC? Well, now you can. Come January, you're going to be able to have Bloodborne on PC. I present to you Bloodborne PS1, the Demake. So they took Bloodborne and made it look like a PS1 game.
Wait, I didn't see this. What is this?
This is Bloodborne.
It's a Demake.
It's a Demake.
It's Bloodborne with PS1 textures and PS1 mechanics.
I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, there's a huge developer base out there that strives to make like PS1 authentic style games. It's mainly in the horror department, but these demakes are getting more and more popular. And I saw this a couple months ago. This looks way more polished than what it did before. I'm actually really hyped about how this looks now. That cane whip looks dope.
This is the release trailer, by the way, just so everybody knows. It comes out January, and I don't know release where. I doubt Steam. I highly doubt Steam. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Actually, let me take a look and see.
Are they gonna partner with Epic Games?
Oh,
this
fuck.
is speaking to me like so much.
Oh,
this
I know what.
just like medieval to me.
I'm like, I knew it would. Because you've never played Bloodborne at all. So.
Oh, I have.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I played most of it on PS3.
So it is releasing January 31st, 2022. And it doesn't tell me where you can get it. That's weird.
I'm here for it.
I don't know where.
Probably it's probably like a port or something or whatever.
Yeah,
you probably
maybe
like
gotta
download one of those,
like an emulator or something.
Emulators, yeah.
I think you need to download it through PSX. It's an emulator through PSX.
But
that's dope.
Anyway, so yeah,
fan software.
It's I don't know. That's cool. I just thought it was cool, man. I saw it and I was like, no fucking
it's
way,
really
dude.
Neat.
Like, it's really kind of crazy.
I'm seeing in chat God of War coming to PC, but no Bloodborne. Bloodborne next year will be on PC.
Yeah, I mean, there was
kind
of
of
remastered.
We can just.
I'm gonna hijack this a little bit. Bluepoint is most likely working on a remaster, and then people are also tying it that Bluepoint's working on Bloodborne 2, which is blasphemous in my opinion, but we'll see. But I am very much of the mind that they're working on at least a Bloodborne remaster for PC.
I mean,
PS5.
Fuck it. We're going to just keep going off fucking the rails here. So another thing from the news is that Sony now officially announced their PC division. So they have a PC section, and it's like, I think it's
you need to be better at structuring these. Like,
are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, I wasn't expecting to do it this way, but I was just
no.
I
told you before the podcast, Lost Ark is out, and he wants to get through all of these topics.
I'm not trying to get through them, Bernard. I'm just saying, dude. They link up, dude. Literally,
we have a structure, Sam.
Oh my
okay,
God.
we have a specific structure, and this is unacceptable.
From what I understand,
thank you, Bill.
The PlayStation PC is just a rename of it was PlayStation Mobile, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or they dropped the mobile or something.
They dropped the mobile and are adding it to PC. So it's effectively just a rename at this point, but it is a sign on the direction that they're going in, potentially having more.
Oh, I mean, with God of War coming to PC, we kind of like that. That was personally my entry point where I was like, okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna see more PS4.
Because that's the biggest title there is on exclusives.
It was Horizon
arguably.
back last year.
Yeah, you had Horizon, you had Days Gone, you had this. So, I mean, it's
Days Gone wasn't a
yes, it was
exclusive, was it?
Yeah, 100%.
For a year, I think, or something like that.
No, it was developed for PlayStation, only by Play. It was a PlayStation thing, yeah. So, but yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds with Sony games. I do enjoy Sony exclusives, and if the PC player base is going to be able to get access to them, that's amazing too, because exclusivity sucks.
It's confirmed Bill's a Sony chill.
And
fucking flame him in chat right now.
I mean, if we're going on this with the PlayStation and the emulators and whatnot, we also heard about the news of the PS3, PS4 games being.
No, this is unacceptable. We need emulated. To get back on track.
But no, I think that's really cool though.
I'm losing control of our entire fucking show.
It is really cool. And it's also like PS3 specifically doesn't have any backwards compatibility on PS4, PS5. So it's nice that those games are going to be sustained online through emulation.
Because they were at risk of actually like being deleted totally from existence a while, or like not a while ago, but
they were about to sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom.
So that's pretty sweet.
All right, so that we can make Enigma happy,
There's this other thing that happened with PlayStation really quickly. You know,
there's only one reason, because Enigma actually played a video game on stream, and he wants to show it off. So
I actually think Epic and PlayStation are going to be doing.
So we're gonna show it. So, sorry, Enigma, go ahead. What did you play?
I played Guardians of the
Galaxy. And how was it?
It was really good, man. It was really good. It was so good that I even made Sin eat crow and fucking buy it and play it.
Have you finished it?
I have not. I haven't had the time. Like you guys know what happened today. I was gonna stream today, but
I wasn't sure how long of a game it actually is.
I think it's like 15 hours in total.
I'm pretty far into it. And it's like I'd probably say I'm close. I'm closing in on the back part of the game, like probably last quarter of it.
I think main mission alone. I don't know if there's any like side missions necessarily that you can take. I haven't really ran into any.
No, there's not.
It's a very guided. That's one thing that
it's a linear game.
Kind of. Yeah, that's one thing that I do kind of have an issue with it, is that it is a very linear, very guided game. But like in this case, they do it very well.
Yeah, this style of game is, I think it's acceptable for that linear experience.
And to be completely honest, like Idios, I will always say their fucking name incorrectly. I think it's Idios. Or Adios Montreal or whatever. They've never really been big on the whole. I mean, they have, but they haven't. Like I think that the Tomb Raider that they made was kind of open like exploration in a way, but it was still very guided.
It had open areas, but then they funneled you back.
And then that's the same with this. Like it does have some open world exploration that you can do, but it's still a very guided game, right? Like it's still, you have one direction you can go. That's it. There are certain secrets that you can find, but that you're always funneled back into one specific location, and that's one thing that does annoy me about it. But the rest of the game is extremely fucking good, man. I was very impressed, considering where we came from with the Marvel, what's it called, the Guardian, or not Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, but Marvel Avengers.
Yeah,
just coming from that to this, I'm like 100% like, why did you fucking release that? Like that was that, like in comparison to this.
I'm sorry, you even saw it, but Square Enix came out.
Well, we were gonna.
Avengers was a disappointment.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about it too. Like it's been a joke, man. Like I can't. I'm speechless, man. I can't fathom how they let that game come out, and then this is the quality that they got from Idios Montreal.
Can you really blame Square though? They're just slapping their money and their name on it. I don't know how much Square actually had with the.
We're blaming Crystal on Avengers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, and that's one thing that we got to argue with as well as like
Square doesn't not really control anything though. I'm not trying to
discuss. Because like in a lot of the time people have an issue with like games like I constantly bring up Bungie and Activision, right? A lot of people say, Activision is the reason why Bungie Destiny 2 was shit. Well, no, Activision was probably part of the reason. I'm sure Activision had a very heavy hand in that game being complete shit at that time, but Bungie has to this day continued to show their hand in what they did with the original, with the intro of Destiny 2 and the terrible decision making skills that they had with it. It's the same deal with Crystal Dynamics and Marvel's Avengers, I think, right? To the point of they nerfed fucking experience gains and then put in experience tokens into their cash shop, and then had to redact that because the entire fucking player base was like, whoa, what the fuck, guys?
They got caught.
Yeah. It was bad move, bad taste.
Yep.
And then the fucking apology that, hey, sorry guys, we knew we were probably gonna piss you off with this, but we wanted to see if we could get away with it. You guys kind of called us out on it, so yeah, sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. It's gone now though, but hey, we look forward to Spider-Man on PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, no. To end with that, like, yeah, no, 100%. This game is amazing. The storytelling is amazing. I love the fucking soundtrack. Obviously, we were talking about it when I was first playing it. you can't play this game. They have an option for DMCA protection on it, right? Where you can like click the little thing and it gives you like
I've only gotten
random
hit. I only got hit once.
Yeah, it gives you like random DMCA-less songs, but like, how can you play Guardians of the Galaxy without like that iconic?
I was about to Star-Lord's CDs are iconic, so
you can't play this game without that iconic like 80s 70s.
I'm gonna play this game and I'm streaming it. I'm not gonna get hit.
I mean, I haven't gotten hit yet. Of course, I haven't streamed as much as Sin has, but like I haven't gotten hit so far. You know, knock on wood, as much as you can. But yeah, the fucking storyline's great. The dialogue is fucking hilarious. I love the interaction. Like we were talking about this the other day, Sin, right? Like the interaction between a lot of the characters just seems seamless. It doesn't seem forced like most games do these days.
Now, is that like during like standard combat stuff, just like
standard combat
each other, or is this like the dialogue options
themselves? No, it's like standard combat. They throw little jabs at each other inside of dialogue. They're sitting there pissing on each other. It's fucking hilarious.
Not literally.
Not literally. That's the OnlyFans version.
Yeah.
That reminds me a lot
you can't get the Golden Showers version unless you pay extra. That's the deluxe version that you get the dungeons with. That's from Bungie.
Honestly, this game reminds me, and I know this is a weird comparison to make, but this reminds me of the Marvel version of Final Fantasy 15 with like the buddy dynamic system going on, where at least with Final Fantasy 15 you played as one character, but you had control of the others in specific ways. They were constantly quipping back and forth at each other. The story was significantly based around their relationship and their interaction.
It is, yeah.
So
Isn't
it gives
in this
me,
you
it gives me
also
15 vibes a lot.
Have like control of the other characters in a way. You have like you
can tell them to do like abilities.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I know you don't.
And
get
that's what you
full
can do
control.
in 15 as well.
Yeah.
And they have certain things like you'll come up against like obstacles. Like there's only certain places that Groot can build a bridge across so you can get to it. Or if there's like something giant, like a really heavy thing, only Drax can pick it up and move it. You know? So it's like very specific roles for very specific people. Yeah.
Do you think they'll sell the playability of the other characters as DLC?
No,
I don't think so.
No,
I hope not.
The reason being behind it is that it's the playing of those other characters. Like it's really not the story of Guardians of the Galaxy. It is pretty much the story of Star-Lord. Very. I mean, you obviously have the interaction and the stuff that goes on with Guardians and Rocket and Gamora, and they touch on all that kind of stuff. But it's very much Peter Quill's story. So
to be completely honest though, like if they did sell like a 15-hour like Rocket and Groot expansion, I would buy it.
All I'm 100%. Saying is, again, bringing it back to Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 was very much the story of Noctis.
Yeah.
But they ended up selling the playability of each of the other characters on that game.
I don't think that'd be such a bad idea.
It is a Square Enix IP. I know they're just publishing it, but it wouldn't be far off, especially now that I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of similarities.
There is a lot of similarities,
with this game and that.
I mean, again, like I said, I don't think I would be upset if they did that, honestly. As long as like each story was unique in and of itself,
Yeah, and that's what they did. They had a segment where that character got a spotlight. You played as that character through their own story mission, and then it allowed you to be able to control them in like the open world of the base game.
Because like let's be honest. Like I don't know if you guys know too much about the Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, Sin does, right? But like Groot and Rocket's like backstory is fucking tragic, man. Like Groot's backstory is fucking tragic. Rocket's is fucked up. Right, and you see a very marginal amount of that. Like they go into a little backstory. I don't want to ruin anything.
I don't. Yeah,
but like it gets dark.
You get that's like you get. I'll say that they do a very good job of letting you, if you want to delve into the stories, the stories of these characters a lot more than just
through like side interactions.
Right. So it's nothing forced. It's nothing that You know, and again, I've played a lot farther into it, and it is a situation like there are moments where you really can, if you want to dive into it, man, you really can dive into these characters, and it gets. I'm just prepping everybody. Like, yes, it's a fun. Like, I think the way they design this game is like James Gunn style, like
goofy,
super, like cheeky, and it fits with the MCU version of Guardians of the Galaxy. If that's your your favorite version of them, great, you're gonna love it. If you are the comic book fan, you're not. The comic book is more serious. This is goofy, but I want to put a warning out there because I was not prepared for it when it hit, and
neither was I.
And and there are some seriously dark tones that this thing takes in a lot of ways.
That first interaction with Rocket, I was just like, damn. Like I sat there for 5 minutes. If Flame is in here, he can attest for it. Like I sat there for 5 minutes. I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, it gets very, very serious very quick. You know, and they do an oak. So that's where like there are things about this game, and I think I want to let you continue to, you know, finish out your stuff because there are some things that I have about the game.
100%. I'm good. It's a phenomenal game. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. I was on the fence about it when we first picked it up, but I was like, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Guardians of the Galaxy for me is like Avengers for Sin, right? Sin loves Avengers. He can't get enough of that shit, right? I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love what James Gunn did to Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU. I know some people are not a big fan of the way that he took it down the goofy fucking stupid route, right? Because that in the comics they are not. They're very serious. In fact, they're the exact opposite, pretty much, of what the James Gunn version is, of what the MCU version is. But to me, I think that they've done a big disservice in the MCU because they haven't really. I mean, they've kind of touched on the darker side of things, but this one definitely does touch on the darker side of things. It's both kooky and funny, but also very sad in some parts. Like it very, 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 very sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. Recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. If you're not wanting to pay $60 for a 15-hour game, obviously that's entirely up to you. Maybe wait until it's on sale, but I think it's well worth the $60 for the amount of content and the amount of enjoyment, because you can technically play this twice. I think it's got enough content and decision making skills to play it twice and do everything opposite of what you've already done.
So that's what I was going to touch on. So the one thing about the story, the game, is that it is very linear, but there are a lot of option choices that you get to take. You know, and
it's like mine and yours playthrough so far has been somewhat different as far as where I've come from, right? Like,
right.
I don't want to spoil anything, but there was a decision made very early on in the game to do a certain action, and it gave me 1,000 credits less than it gave Sin. So Sin got fucked for 1,000 more credits than I did because of the decision making that I did.
But the cool thing
about the decision making he did.
The cool thing about it, what I will say, is that they do a very good job of, like, that decision comes back later on. Like, and again, I'm making sure not to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But like,
there's like long-term effects.
There are, and the thing about it too that is very intriguing is, and I think good, is that they do a very smart job of making it feel organic, and the way that you do your decision making, and it not being like, like there are times where it'll pop up in the corner and be like, hey, the Guardians didn't like the way that you decided to do this, right? So you kind of know, like, okay, that was a decision kind of maybe not in the right spot, or you know, whatever. I chose this one decision, but throughout the entire game, like, there's only very few times that happens, but actually a lot of the decisions that you make do alter, I don't think the story and like the way that
it's very minute.
I think what it alters is like the path that happens, like whether it's difficult, whether it's not. Like, I've made decisions where it's like, oh, because you did this, you got this, that then opened this. Whereas it would be like one of them, I had to answer a list of questions. And if I would have answered the list of questions in a certain way, I believe that not that I wouldn't have seen a whole section, but like a section of this game would have actually played out very differently.
It would have been easier or harder or more difficult depending on what you had decision.
So I think there's a lot of actually multiple playthroughs of it. What I do wish that the game would do is allow you to just not have to go through like all of this stuff that you're seeing like on screen right now, where Enigma's, you know, and just actually play the game in almost like a movie mode, to be like, hey, choose your own adventure style. We're going to go through and we're going to play the game in these kind of settings, and you're going to go through and make decisions again. But you get to choose different ones and see what happens. And Detroit 2 Human did this, or Detroit, whatever that game that name of that game.
Detroit
Not
2 Human.
yeah,
Until
2 Human.
Dawn did it as well. It's more of those
Dragon Age did as well. That's the closest thing that I can think of is like Dragon Age Inquisition and like the Dragon Age games had really good decision making, and like that those specific decisions that you made affected the story critically in some cases.
The few things that I will knock the game on, one is they time you on the dialogue decisions that you have.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a problem if it was a situation where like dialogue is happening, you're trying to listen to that, you're then trying to make a decision on the dialogue choice that you want. But then at the same time, if you make the dialogue decision, it cuts the dialogue off midstream what they're talking about and immediately goes into the dialogue decision that you chose. So it's like, well, hold on, like I was actually invested in what they were saying.
Right,
because the banter in this
weird.
the banter in this game is really amazing.
What we're watching right now is actually a really good point of that too, because like at the end of this fight there's a point where Drax is talking to me about something and I go through the little the little duck down portion and it just completely cuts off whatever Drax was saying.
Right.
So and I'm like, I would have liked to have actually known what Drax said.
It seems like they prioritize the main like the audio and progression. Yeah.
Right. So that, and again, because they do such a good job, and it is very organic, and I've literally sat with my hands off the keyboard, hands off my mouse, sitting down and listening, and I can tell you that I probably went through about 15 to 20 solid minutes of just organic conversation that was not obviously scripted or not, but like not repeating, not the same shit, not what, like just banter between them, and it was really smooth, really good. And that's where it does. I ding them on the fact of like, don't time me, don't make me like, and then if you are going to time me, at least let me finish, like let that conversation finish out and then put that in the queue for that. The other thing too is the combat system is I don't know, man. Like it's weird.
If you guys are watching right now, like the combat system right now, you can definitely tell that it was built for a controller in some cases. Because at the next stream that I did, this is my first stream. I did it on keyboard and mouse. The next stream I did it on controller, and it felt a lot more natural.
And you're trying to like target stuff. There's not like tab targeting or like where you can like lock onto somebody fully. Like you right click to lock on, then you whatever. But it's very like it's very clunky in a way. Like and it doesn't feel good. It flows, but it just doesn't feel very good. The other thing that the other situation that I will hit it on is there are moments in the game where you're playing and you get this ultimate ability where like, or not ultimate, but this like special where you can like group everybody up. Huddle up. And it's like you group everybody up and you get a decision on how you're going to pep talk your group. But like it's based on a bar meter and that bar meter stays. And so like, you could be in a situation, and the point of where they introduce is like your team's getting their ass kicked, and so then you huddle up as Peter Quill, and they're like, "Come on, guys, let's give the pep talk." And it's like, what?
It's very it reminds me very heavily of like the old like 80s action movies where the main protagonist has to deliver like the rousing the crowd rousing the discussion or whatever you want to call it to regain the troops' morale boost and everything like that. So, and I'm just like it's a little cringe.
It's like kind of break immersion a little bit.
It's a little cringe. You're sitting there in the middle of combat. You're getting your ass kicked, and all of a sudden, guys, huddle up.
The worst part about it though is that because you can build that meter and hold it. And let's just say you wanted, like, I've gone into a boss fight where I'm like, well, fuck it, I have the meter, I'm just going to do it. And I huddle up and they come in and their dialogue doesn't change. So it's still like, guys, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. I'm like, we haven't even shot of one bullet. Everyone's like, they're like, we're getting our asses kicked. I'm like, no one's even throwing a punch. Like, what are you talking about? So it's that, like, and again, the only reason I ding it for that is because they did such a good job on the dialogue everywhere else. It's just like, why did why this? Aside from that, there's some issues with like UI, but that's typical stuff. The game is from a story perspective, and from like, I kind of rate these games, like, especially when they're in the Marvel universe, like on whether or not I rate them against movies, right? Like how much of it would it be something that I am like drawn in and want to know and want to finish. And I will tell you, like, this is up there with the movies for me of being like,
definitely draws you in, man.
You know, I want to know how this is going to go. The tension between, you know, and there's always tension between, this is not a shocker, tension between Rocket and Peter is fucking like just explosive.
They're always,
you know,
they're always going at it, man.
And
it's ridiculous.
It's taking turns in areas, and it brings in Thanos. You bring in, you know, like it talks about Thanos. It talks about like other characters that if you are familiar with, you know, the Marvel universe, you're gonna fall in love with and know. So they did a very good job.
And the one thing that I will give them over, and you know, you can agree with me on this if you want to, Sin. I don't know if you necessarily thought this way or not, but like my biggest issue that I had with Marvel Avengers with like the characters is that they weren't like, I understand they were trying to not go down the route of the MCU, trying to make them the MCU characters, but at the same time they did. Right? They at the same time they didn't, but they did want to make them like the MCU characters. With this one, I almost feel like they carbon copied from the MCU movie. Right?
Yeah.
Like they all sound fairly similar. They all look pretty damn similar, and they all act pretty damn similar to the MCU. Whereas like in Marvel's Avengers, it was just like you got to discount Tony Stark, you know, or you gotta discount Thor. Right? These ones feel very accurate to the MCU.
I don't like, and this is just me, I don't actually am not a huge fan of this Peter Quill, and like I think in the context of this game he fits okay, but like if you bring it out to like, he's just a very much of a whiny little bitch in this. And like his voice after a certain point becomes not grating, but it's just like, I don't know, it's fine. It's not terrible, it's not bad, but like I prefer like the MCU style, and the Avengers to me did a better job of nailing. Like I said, Peter Quill's the only one that I would say. Like Drax, phenomenal. Gamora, phenomenal. Rocket, phenomenal. Groot, it's fucking Groot. He only has 3 words. So
3 words, yeah.
like
mess that up.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, it's a very good game, and again, I am happy that I decided to change my mind.
I'm happy you decided to buy it too, man. Because I thought I like from the get go when I played it that first night, I kind of did an initial playthrough of it just to kind of make sure that I could run the damn thing. And I was like, dude, he's gonna love this game. He has to get this game. There's no way that Sin cannot play this game. He's gonna fucking love it. There is so many references to the fucking comic books and to the MCU and everything like that it's he's gonna love everyone.
Yeah.
So I actually have a question, and maybe I missed it, but is there any correlation at all to the Guardians Galaxy movie 1 or 2, or is this totally separate? Or
no, it's not. It's on its own.
Yeah, it's completely separate. Yeah.
That's what I thought, but it's still like canon to like the story of Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Well, it's canon to their back, like their back history, but as far as like, as far as like this, you would in a comic book version, you'd never see this of Peter Quill. Like this is not the version the like rocker fucking and whatever. Yeah. You know, that was not the style. You know, and like the kind of I'm sleeping with everybody. You know, that's not, you know, Peter Quill and Star-Lord. But it is the MCU style. It is in that style. It is in James Gunn style. Yeah. Like it literally, it does look like they sat down with James Gunn and was like, hey, let's talk, like let's whatever else, which I don't necessarily have an issue with, because again, I think if you do Guardians is known in the comic book, I don't think it's gonna be as it's not gonna be as good. I think you need that like comedic banter bullshit between all of them and whatever to make it, you know, cool.
Works better in this game sense.
It really does. Like. Yeah. It honestly works better in the movie sense as well. Like having it as a very ultra serious, you know, group of people, it just wouldn't.
It's too gritty.
Well.
Yeah. So it's a good game. They did a good job with
one of the things I can't complain about though is that there's no toggle for like music, right? Like with a character that's supposed to be all about like this 80s rock and this you know the iconic shit.
I'm gonna close that. It's starting to get into stuff that I don't want to.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
For sure.
The biggest thing is like with it being a focus on like the iconic rocker and everything like that. I feel that like there should have been some kind of system where you could just like play that iconic music constantly.
Yeah,
to me,
I think
that I like he's obviously he has his little cassette tape on his fucking belt all the time. There should just be a fucking toggle to be able to play the music, but that's just a small gripe that I had. I was like, man, I would really be like during this fight. I was like, I would really be love to be, you know, actually listening to Star-Lord the music, because there's 10 songs, like full songs that they made from Star-Lord. It's his own soundtrack, and they're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, you can also get Rick rolled. What you can play Rick?
You can get Rick rolled.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
It was one of the first when I loaded up my personal playthrough. That was one of the first songs that played in the ship when I got into the ship. I was like, yes.
That moment, you were in love.
I was, man. I was like, it's funny because I love this song.
I actually too. The last thing I'll bring up, because we've talked about this for a long time, and I didn't mean to spend this much time on this, but one thing I would like for them to do, just almost to a spit in the face to fucking Crystal Dynamics, make this bitch multiplayer. Make this damn 4-player co-op, you know, and let the other guys, like, I would rather them almost do that than, you know, give me the side content, but like, you know, and they did that with I think Final Fantasy 15, where they made it where you could do multiplayer. Same thing, man. Give me multiplayer. Like, let other people control Jax or Drax and Groot and Rocket.
I think it'd be great. Like the fact that they have their own separate abilities and shit. Like it just screams co-op. Like you could play 4-player co-op with this.
Yeah.
And have your Drax completely different to somebody else's Drax.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Because I mean, there's not gear, right? There's no gear and level, like anything like that. Like you level up the characters, but yeah. So it's good, guys. I
very good.
Go take a look at it, man. Go. If you want to wait for it.
I personally think it's well worth the $60. But I mean, if you have a hard time, you know, swallowing the $60 pill, wait until it goes on sale.
It'll go on sale. And mark my words, I bet you this game is going to come out on the Game Pass. Sale. Yeah, no, I think it's going to come out on the Game Pass.
You think so? I would say it probably will within like a year. But
I'd be surprised on Game Pass, but I would say in this case, like the game is worth buying to at least show Square Enix and to Crystal Dynamics like a finger. This is the stuff that they should have done.
Yeah.
All right. So Scruffy, what is Pumpkin Jack, buddy?
Sorry that took so long, guys, as well. So I apologize.
All good, dude. Pumpkin Jack is awesome. It is definitely everything I imagined it. So pretty much it's a linear action platformer. And if you guys are at all familiar with the PS1, PS2 games Medieval, and of course the remaster too, it is very reminiscent of that. Like it's that to a T, and it's great. It's got that comedic like effect. You play as obviously Pumpkin Jack, and in this game you're actually the bad guy. So the story is that the devil has pretty much cursed the earth and the land, and rising monsters and demons and vampires and all sorts of stuff. And there is a wizard who is trying to remove the curse and save the world. Well, in this case, Pumpkin Jack was hired by the devil to pretty much take out the wizard and keep the world, you know, evil and cursed. And it's just
spoiler, bro. Jeez.
Well, that's literally what the game opens with. So don't worry about spoilers or anything. But it's awesome, man. It plays a lot, like I said, like Medieval. It's a
good time, man.
It's got that comedic effect through all the characters and whatnot. You're accompanied by a little crow that kind of is like your sidekick throughout the game, and it's awesome. You go through each level, pretty much taking down enemies, collecting little crow heads for skins and cosmetics, and then each level is, you know, finished with like a boss fight, and you collect like new weapons every boss fight, which is really cool. But dude, I mean, it's beautiful. I was so like taken away, and with my new PC, of course, everyone knows I got a new PC now.
New PC hype.
The game just looks stunning. Like the atmosphere and the lighting and everything is just it's awesome. It's that perfect Halloween vibe kind of game. So, dude, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely into it.
I quite enjoyed watching you play. It brought me back to like the old PlayStation like platformers.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
like Crash Bandicoot and shit, but with just better graphics.
Exactly. is very similar to that. I mean, the game's not that hard, but honestly, I didn't need it. I didn't need a game like this to be that hard. Like, I just wanted to play it for like the fun, like, you know, action and platforming enjoyment. So I think it gave me everything I really wanted. And for games were only like $30 too. I mean, I got it on sale, granted, on the Halloween sale, but still, I'd pay full price for this. It probably will run you about like maybe only 7 to 8 hours, depending on how long you take through each level to actually beat the game. But I mean, there's a completionist aspect of you know, some players who play it who want to collect everything, go through all the levels and you know, get all the crow heads or whatever to be a completionist. But it's cool. It's a good time.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
On Steam, right?
On Steam, yeah.
Nice.
It's very, very good. Very worth the checkout.
All right. One of the other things that we all played, is this fucking game. So
I forgot about this.
This is Ghost Hunter Core. And it's a 4-player.
Well, it's Ghost Hunter Core for the people that actually, you know, lived.
Shut the fuck up, man. The game, I swear to God, is fucking like, it either hates the host or it's racist as shit. That's all I'm saying. Because I watched Scruffy. I died almost every fucking time that we played as a group. And I swear to God, I would watch Scruffy and Enigma sit there and slap the shit out of the ghost in the face. Yeah. And this fucking thing just chases me and dies.
I think that at one point I teabagged the ghost and it didn't do anything.
Didn't do shit. I'm fucking a mile and a half away and dead. So, anyway, so what you know prompted us to play this game is I'd actually had seen this a while ago and had been following it for a little while. We had played Phasmophobia, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I'm not a huge fan of Phasmo. I think it's a cool game, but it gets very dull and boring after a while. You know, because you're doing the same shit over and over and over again. Not saying that you're not doing the same shit here, right? But the big difference about this game and about about Phasmo is that you as a ghost hunter are actually there to cleanse it. You're actually there to perform basically like an exorcism. And it's not as simple as just being like, oh, I found the room the ghost's in. I'm getting freezing temps. I'm getting, you know, a EMF reading. So it's this ghost. So let's just do this. It's actually pretty fucking intricate. Like, you got to go in and, like, what you're seeing on screen right now is I'm holding like a scanner that's going to scan for a signal. It's going to tell me a certain type of entity. Some ghosts have it, some ghosts don't. You know, you'll find that then you'll tick that box off, but then you're going to go and you're going to say, okay, cool. Like, I'm getting an EMF reading of 3.4, or I'm getting an EMF reading of 5. So I'm going to tick that box. Now it's going to give me this little bit, but then it's still saying, okay, that's cool. How do I like, you know, maybe you think that you're done and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to exorcise the ghost. Well, it's going to tell you, okay, you can do this and this, but realistically there's 5 steps to exorcise this ghost that, you know, you only have 2 of them. And so you can really fight back, and the ghost is fucking vengeful as shit. But the coolest thing I like about this fucking game, bro. The coolest thing,
Ghost is chill with us, man.
Yeah, whatever. The coolest thing I like about this game too is the fact that there's a pretty decent progression system where you can buy like a lot of cool shit that's more than just what Phas has. But also, if you die, there's a part of this where you can see, like, on this actually instance, I'm picking up an item and I'm taking it. So this is actually a demonic item that the ghost cursed, and then you get money for bringing that item back.
Spoilers, it was actually not that one. It was the chair.
Yeah, it ended up not being this.
The chair was demonic.
We were wrong.
But
we were wrong. The pens were completely fine. It was the chair.
I died in this, and it was Scruffy and Enigma. Now, I couldn't hear them.
Oh, I remember this one.
And so I got pissed off that I died. So in Phas, you can only pick up like 1 or 2 small things. In this, you can pretty much pick up whatever the fuck you want. So I died and legitimately stacked fucking every chair I could find in front of the goddamn doorway so that they could not get the fuck out. And so literally they're like, you can hear, like, you can see the ghost coming toward them. They're freaking out. They're trying to throw the fucking chairs out of the way. I'm picking them back up and throwing them back in front of them. It was a good time. Like, it was a fucking blast. You know, and
now we wonder why he kills fishermen at the watering hole.
Right? He's toxic, man. He's toxic.
But yeah, it was a very good time. A lot of to me, I think it's more developed than Faz is.
I mean, I'm happy for you, Sin. You know, because you do die a lot. It gives you that.
It gives you something to do, man.
It gives you something to do, man.
Yeah. The one graveyard one,
it gives you something to be toxic about.
The one graveyard one, I stacked fucking pots for 15 minutes.
Then he got uber pissed because we took one of them because it was
because one of them was the demonic pot that we needed.
Well, I didn't know that, so I got pissed and I took one of their like little tools that they needed to discover the ghost. I picked it up and I threw it. Like I just
know that, but you took literally like 8 pots. Like there's a high chance of one of them, if not more.
Well, whatever. I got pissed off, so then I took one of their EMF readers and I just tossed it into the fucking middle of nowhere. And I'm like, fuck you guys, go find it.
Camera and tossed it in some bush someplace. No one could find it.
So it's a good time. It really is a fun.
It was fun. Yeah,
I enjoy it, man. I think my biggest the biggest part that I like is doing the exorcism and getting the book and acting out like I'm a preacher.
Yeah,
that was my most enjoyable time.
I enjoyed seeing you that. For me, I was like the cameraman. I enjoyed like taking the pictures and getting all the pictures of like the ghosts and whatnot. Do the creepiest one, and I got one like Hall of Fame picture was when me and Enigma.
Oh god, it was. It was me and you. Yeah,
wasn't that the little
girl?
Yeah, the girl
fuck
was
that
upside
one,
down,
dude.
Standing on the ceiling.
Fuck.
I didn't see it right away. I'm holding the camera out.
Dude.
I pan over and I'm like, holy shit! I snap a shot.
These two assholes died and left me in the house to fucking do it. You guys are lucky that I stuck around that long because I was not having none of that, man.
I broke all the lights in that house too.
I hated it,
you can flicker the lights, and if you do it enough, the lights actually snap and break.
I hated that one because like I had to go back up in there because she kept going in that fucking bathroom.
Yeah,
I had to go back up in there and she'd be like, you're fucked. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, this is me stacking the fucking pots. I don't know, man.
He died a lot, man. He had to entertain himself.
Most of this was like the gray screen.
Yeah. It's fun. Honestly, it really is a fun game. Again, from someone that does not like Phasmophobia very much to like coming to this, I was expecting that I was not going to really like this and only want to play it a couple times. I'm actually very much like following this game. I want to play it.
I still want to play it, man.
I want to.
They had that update that we never actually played it. They have a
also the maps are fucking. Some of the maps are fucking big. Like
they have a camp map that we never finished. It came out on like Halloween, and I want to go and do it.
Yeah. I mean, the game's good. The only thing I'll say is I can see there not being too much replayability as of right now. It seems like they're adding, they're keeping up with the updates, but I feel like it's gonna run dry once you get to a certain point of playing all the maps, and there's only so much progression through levels that you can unlock new items.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
The other thing that I like about this one over Faz, and I found this out the other day, you don't lose items when you die. Yeah, so if you buy an item, it's in your inventory from that point forward.
I thought I lost item.
I think you do. I think you do if you do on the harder ones, not.
It might have been. I haven't lost one yet, and I've died a couple times just playing it.
But
it's surprisingly I have played this a couple times, so I went in and tried to do that.
That is surprising.
That fucking map, the forest map, by myself. Did not enjoy that. That was fucking.
It's on Steam. It's like $17, I think, or maybe 19, but it's well worth it, guys. I really do like. At least follow it. Wish this. I don't know. Take a look at it if you're interested.
If you're a fan of Faz and you want something more refreshing, I think this is that.
Right. Yep. So
I had a lot of fun with it.
And then finally, I'm showing footage of Lost Ark, the RU version. But as of today, at the Lost Ark closed beta launched for NA. You can either get keys for it pretty quickly or easily through like Twitch and drops, or you can go and pre-order the game.
Fucking drops.
It's I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this because I mean it is what it is. Like okay, you got a key. You're not allowed to say that. Shut the fuck up. I purposely gave you a key so you never talk about that ever again. You understand me? Fuck you. Like
it's too late. I already got it, bro.
The game it's I don't know. It's a top-down Diablo style MMORPG. It is made by Smilegate. It's being published by Amazon. People are saying like, oh, it's PoE. No, it's not. They're saying, oh, it's Diablo. No, it's not. Like it isn't. It is a full-fledged MMO. If you actually do the homework and like do the research, the dungeons, the raids, The content, the PvP, the chaos dungeons, the stuff that's in this fucking game is crazy. It's been out in Korea for 2.5 years, going on 3 years. I don't know. I mean, it's a fucking phenomenal game. If you like MMOs and you like top-down games, I mean, yeah.
If there's anything to relate it to, it would be Devilian. If anyone was familiar with,
but not shitty.
Game was alive. Yeah, it's
not terrible.
Better Devilian.
Yeah,
just not terrible and not produced,
not developed by NCSoft.
Arcade.
Yeah.
The coolest thing that I like about the game too is that they have like there's a lot to do with like you have item collecting, card collecting, you have pet collecting, and they all benefit you in certain ways, but it's not like there's nothing in the game. I've gone through the store on the Russian version as much as I can, but like now the NA version to actually look at it, and there is nothing inside there that makes it to where you are paying for stat bonuses, paying for boosts, paying for anything like that. It is from all intents and purposes, from what I can tell right now, it is not pay to win. Smilegate is very adamant about them not doing a pay to win game, on this. And yeah, I don't know. It's a good time. I'm not gonna spend too much on it. Like I said, that was it. If you want to see more content, most of us will be playing it throughout the week.
I was about to say I ain't touching.
You get pets.
Do
there's pets?
Yeah, there's pets for sure.
Yeah.
Do we want to cover the Blizzard stuff really quick?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
So the one good thing that this game has going for it, I think, right now, and even with games like Last Epoch.
Last Epoch, yeah.
Yeah, Last Epoch. So this is going off on a bit of a tangent. We got some news the other day that both Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 have been
delayed indefinitely.
Delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
It's not possibly. It is indefinitely. There is no further. There is no release date. As of right now, there is no release date for either.
Yeah.
So this game coming out as it is right now is in a good state because obviously the people that were like, fucking Diablo 4 is coming out. This game is a direct competitor basically, as is Last Epoch, which is another top-down isometric that kind of is going against the grain of what Diablo was going up against. So,
and honestly,
I think
it's
it's
the
in a
better
good
option.
state. I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Better option between Last Epoch or Diablo?
Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
For me, I mean,
100%.
I don't know. This I'd prefer to play this over Last Epoch even.
I mean, Last Epoch doesn't have multiplayer, so
yeah, this has multiplayer.
Yeah. This scratches an itch of, like I said, if you liked PoE but you wanted a MMO, then this gives you that. But the other side of it is like if you want an MMO and you don't want to play Final Fantasy and you're fucking done with WoW and New World's pissing you off because of all the bullshit, like this is a fucking deep MMO. I mean, if you watch the dungeons and the fucking raids that are in-game content, it'll blow your mind. One of the raids that is in the game starts off, and it's right now it's the Joker raid it's going on the RU version. It starts off as a typical dungeon. You're going through whatever else. You get to the boss. One of the raid mechanics of that is that it actually flips and turns into a fucking platformer. So now your character has to go
into a mini game.
Yeah, you're sent to a mini game that you have to now go and perform. And based on how you perform, you'll get a buff or a debuff on what happens, and then it flips into a fucking card game. Like it flips in where you now like this all of these different mechanics, and that's just one of these
almost
things.
Too just disjointed.
It's not. When you play it and I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, this is just too much. When I watched it being done, I was like, it like the way that they make it like flow. It seamlessly connects together to make sense. It's not like, and you have to.
You know what they stole that from though? There's a boss in Kingdom Hearts 2 that. When you're fighting them.
Oh, you said the word.
It's gonna be like Kingdom Hearts.
No, said it.
Mickey Mouse.
I mean, if Mickey Mouse shows up in my fucking Lost Ark, I'm gonna be real pissed. Keep that fucking peanut butter out of my chocolate.
Somebody play the Mickey Mouse bag.
But it's really good. If again, it's $15 if you want to go pick it up and try it and actually play it. The one thing I will say is please don't fucking listen to any of these stupid chats. This is the one gripe I have about any streamer that's doing drops that has like not done their homework on the game or this type of community or anything like that. But I watched 4.5 hours of someone playing this game. Their community didn't know fucking shit all about what they're talking about. They're giving him bad advice. He's sitting there talking poorly about the game and not understanding anything. He's pissed off about the affinities stuff. It's very easy to understand. He's pissed off about a lot of things that are very Korean based, or Eastern based in these types of games. And if you've played any kind of real Eastern MMO at all, you'll understand right off the bat. Or even if you play Final Fantasy, you'll understand right off the bat of like what these things are. So
wait, do we know yet how the localization is in the beta?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's not bad. The only part that I've had issues with is that, and it was only one scene where they did a close up cut scene and the mouth did not sync.
Didn't sync.
Yeah,
That's
you're gonna get that regardless.
10 times better than solo.
Yeah, no, we're not. No, it's not solo levels. No.
Solo, thank God.
No. So I'm excited to continue to play with it. The beta is from the 4th until the 11th.
Am I right in hearing that after it goes full release, it's going to be free to play though, or is it always going to stick at a $15 price point for base?
From everything I've been told, it is always going to be a $15
buy to play.
Okay, I don't know. I heard it might go free to play, or I heard it was, but
I think it's free to play in Korea, if I'm not mistaken.
It's free to play Korea and Russia. I mean, it could maybe it will go, but I don't. I don't know. The rumors and the stuff that I heard from their developer and their lead developer was that basically they wanted to go pay here because they wanted to assure people that it is not a pay to win kind of thing, that you're going to buy the game and that's a way to monetize. For them is to say, hey, you're paying for the game, blah blah, whatever. But
we're not asking for anything more.
But I'm not. But that doesn't mean shit, right? I mean, we've bought how many fucking games? Bless Online, I bought that, and that fucking thing had pay to win.
Arcade Unchained, Arcade Reborn.
So that doesn't mean shit. But Smilegate has held true for the past 3 years. Over on their other with this game in Russia and everywhere else.
It's just Amazon we have to look out for.
Yeah, but again, Smilegate came out and they did an interview with the lead developer, and he said, "Look, guys, Smilegate this is Smilegate. They are literally giving us server space. They are paying for server to the point that he actually somewhere in it was a translation, but basically the interview with some Korean gaming site said that if they don't like the way that the game is like the servers are holding up, they will dump Amazon and find somebody else." I'm like, maybe I don't know if that's fucking that's translated right, because that's a big dick move. But I don't know. In any case, yeah.
I mean, it might be true. You gotta remember at the point of them obtaining this producership with Smilegate, they were 0-3 for games being successful, right? I would argue they're still 0-4. I would argue that fucking what's it called, still not successful.
0-3.5. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, I think that maybe they do have that power. Maybe if
I mean, hey, and this is a Russian company, right? Russian. They're a big dick.
It's not Russian. It's Korean. The company's Korean.
Oh, I thought it was Russian.
No, Smilegate's Korean.
He's playing on Russian.
I'm playing on Russian servers.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yep. So Lost Ark, it's out there. All right. Going through the news, guys. We're gonna kind of burn through this pretty quickly.
An hour.
We ain't got no damn hour. I ain't gonna stay on here.
We got 30 minutes.
We got 30 minutes.
Not
bad. So we mentioned obviously Lost Ark, Amazon. Amazon has another IP called New World. And I don't know, man. Like, I defended this game. I like this game. I want to love this game, but this game is becoming a dumpster fire. Fucking every day, there's something new that is becoming an issue. And the latest thing has been the fact that you can that their chat system is nothing more than HTML code, and people are spamming dicks, like legit dicks, all over the chat.
not just dicks. Like they're spamming. You can like spam images. Like you can post any image you want to, basically.
That's what,
and you can crash people's games.
I was about to say you can post malicious images that'll crash the code.
And some of them even change people's like settings and mouse sensitivity, and also crazy, play like really loud, obnoxious noises. Like
Yep,
it's crazy.
Everything. it's literally.
Like I can't remember if we talked about this when we were. I think we did. I think we talked about this last podcast when we were talking about this ninja nerf. Like the fact that they have this shit in the game right now. This is like these are like errors.
These are
and
major
like,
exploits.
like major exploits and
Yeah.
like major overlooks on the development part that I would expect from a video game company that was developing a video game like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah,
this is ridiculous.
That's
man.
the thing. It shows
Amazon.
it shows the fact that the developers that they have on this are like either A, extremely new and doing this, or B, lazy fucks. I mean it's like
It's weird that the community let all this stuff go through the betas though, because this is.
I don't think they did. That's the biggest thing is that like there was one report I think that I was reading that was saying that this is all stuff that they reported in the betas. Like a lot of these issues were reported in the alpha and the beta, and they just completely ignored it.
It also seems like this is done specifically maliciously, like the quote unquote release of these exploits have been like simultaneous. It's not like a big exploit dump of bullshit. They're spreading it out so that it looks significantly
you could be right,
even worse than what it is if it was just like a big exploit dump.
I mean they've dropped.
Let's be real.
It's
Regardless if they've been spreading them out, these are still very bad things to have.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
I don't think he's taking away
just,
from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is that like
no,
I've actually never even thought about that. I mean that's a good point, but I never even thought about
that. It seems
like
the exploiters, like the ones that are making these exploits public knowledge for people to use, are doing it with malicious intent of making the game fail.
Which honestly, you know what? It's on Amazon. I mean, Amazon. You if you knew the content, if you knew, and probably if that is the case, the people that know about it are most likely probably the people that reported it and said you didn't fix this shit. So cool. The way we're gonna make you fucking see it is we're gonna like crash the shit, you know. And the sad thing about it is that the game is fun. Like the game is a fun, relaxing, enjoyable game. I know Scruffy, you've been playing it, and now especially that you can, you know.
Yeah, I got my time out of it. I mean, I enjoy it for the fact, like you said, it is a relaxing game to zone out on and you know do your thing. But
like it just
dicks in the chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a thing now where it's just like duping. All right, well, fine, dupe. Like we keep giving you passes and passes and passes to say, okay, this was something like the duping issue has been everywhere. It's been whatever.
But it's the fact of their time that it's taking to literally deal with this stuff.
Or the fact. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like they took down server transfers literally not even hours after they released it because of the duping error, and then they didn't release the server transfers like more like 2 weeks or something after they took it down. It's like it's crazy.
And then
are we willing to roll back? By the way, this is a little off topic. Are we willing to roll back the graphic card issue and put it exclusively on Amazon and not just the cards themselves, like not having the failsafe, but could it potentially, like with all the laziness and all of like the botch shit that we're seeing within the game's code, could those failsafes be just
by I don't know. I mean, I still think that go because it was such a
I'm pretty sure that didn't AMD come out and say that was on them.
No, EVGA came out and said it was theirs. Yeah, EVGA came out and said it was theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, it is EV. Like, I think that's EVGA's thing. I don't think that.
I don't think there was many other cases of other games.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. Is like, granted, after the entire release, we were also getting reports of that same thing happening to other graphics cards. It just wasn't as widespread.
I mean, I think that it probably is more or less like a limiter on their frames and stuff like that, and whatever else that was an issue. Again, yes. I'm not going to defend Amazon and say that it wasn't their issue. I mean, I think that, but I think, and again, people in chat like Sigma, like I know you're a lover of this game. I know you play the game. Again, I love the game. I enjoy the game, but it is a situation where, look, man, like all of us on this show hold certain developers and almost everyone to a very standard of like, look, don't fucking pull shit over. Don't fucking be lazy. Do what you're supposed to. And we call it as we see it. Like, and so the fact of the matter is that Amazon, specifically, they delayed Lost Ark, right? Lost Ark got delayed. And though I'm a fanboy of Lost Ark, they delayed my fucking game because they wanted to launch this, right? Lost Ark is in 1,000 times better place than what this is, but my game got delayed because this one to come out.
Lost Ark's also been established for how long?
Yeah.
Right. But so why not let that come out and fucking push New World? Like, you know, to make it. And again, like HTML code, even at its base, like HTML
New
coding
World 3 times already. They didn't want to push it a 4th time.
But is that on anyone else's fault other than Amazon? Like,
no, it's a Cyberpunk style issue where they kept promising pushbacks, promising dates, and it gets to a point where the community is going to just give up on your game if you don't put it out on the day. They had gotten to that point.
Well, I think their thought process too was like, oh, we can release a busted game. It's an MMO. Busted MMOs come out all the time. We can work on it and fix it on the long run and whatever. You know, and I think that they are adamantly trying to fix their game. I do think they have developers that want this and to fix this game, but it's like they say, it's a fucking shit ton of rookie mistakes. And they've lost 500,000 concurrent. Now, again, you know, 500,000 players. Realistically, out of those, I wonder how many of those were actually legit players. But you know, that's still a huge fucking chunk. That's 500,000 players. That's a half of.
I'd heard that it was like 60% of their player base from the start.
Like, yeah, you know,
I heard 50% myself, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, we all knew there was going to be a decrease, but and a decline.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like with any MMO, you're going to have that after a month, right? Yeah. Especially with a lot like a newer franchise that's not as well established, right? There's no back content.
Yeah,
you know. So once people hit that end game, and granted, this one in particular, the reason why people were quitting is because like they're really, once you hit end game, it's PvP and large scale raiding, or unless you want to do
fishermen,
unless you will just want to continue to redo the fucking dungeons, right? There's no real huge end game in the game,
which
currently.
Is what I was concerned with the game coming out.
Same thing.
I didn't think there was going to be enough end game, and it's proving that that's the case.
Yeah. So I don't know. Excuse me.
It's crazy to me though that like what you had just said. Like the thing about it is yes, I am 100% positive that there are developers on the team that want this game to succeed, but at the same time, there are developers that were working for Cyberpunk that wanted the game to succeed. You know.
I mean, it's a team effort. I mean, if they're not all in it, then obviously things are going to get by. These exploits are going to get by.
You know, the one thing I will say, I'm happy that it is a fucking one buy. That's it. I'm done. I don't have to do anything else with it. You know, so maybe in 6 months it'll be a game. Maybe in a couple months it'll be in a game. You know, whatever. It'll be a better state. I hope it is. But at this point, I don't give a fuck because
I'm personally curious with their current track record of failed games. If they're willing to put in the work and put in the hard time,
they won't burn it down, man.
Point
I don't think they're gonna
just cancel it.
No, I don't think they will. I don't think they'll burn it down.
I don't know. I didn't think they'd cancel Crucible either, but they still.
I definitely. I knew.
Yeah. After playing that for 15 minutes,
if you didn't play that game like me and Sid did you?
No, I didn't.
That game was destined to be canceled.
I think there's enough dedicateds on New World that it has the ability to survive the rough entry. I think in a year or so the game will probably be in a pretty good state. It might take a full year to get it there, but I think there's enough promise within the game itself that they definitely need to work on a lot of things. It wasn't ready to come out, but I think they can build it into a pretty good game and then push it forward from there.
Yeah.
Potentially do like a Realm Reborn style relaunch or whatnot if they need to.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that like Sigmund brings up in chat, he says it was a huge success for them financially. Yeah, it was financially a huge success for them, but at what cost for their reputation, right? Like that's the biggest thing with like Cyberpunk 2077, right? Cyberpunk 2077 was a huge financial success for CD Projekt Red. It was a terrible fucking boom and hit for their what's it called? Their reputation. Yeah.
Right now, their rep is not looking great. I don't.
Well, it wasn't looking great before this.
No, I know, but I don't think they're to a point where they can't bring it back though. I think they still have the power in them to bring it back if they put the work in.
But the question that I have is, they have the want to and the know-how to get it to that point. but will the community support it if they ever do it? That's the question that I have.
Well,
if they put the work, I don't know.
Here's the thing about it. The whole thing, all of this, regardless of all this stuff we're talking about, all of this is just taking time away from them fucking putting content into the game.
True.
Like, all
but
of
it's
this
their own
shit.
fault.
Right. Well, absolutely. That's what, like, this is, you released a buggy ass game that now is like, we're a game that, you know, we all were kind of skept on the end game. We were worried about what the end game was going to be. You released right in October. You didn't even have a fucking holiday event planned up. Like, not, you had holiday skins, but no holiday event.
Yeah, the cash
You know,
out. They
like-
had a cash out event.
You know, but like, so like those kind of things, it's just like you develop, you're having to like fix these issues instead of developing brand new content. You know, again, I think the game is fun. I love the game. Like, I do enjoy the game when I play it, but I'm refusing to play it right now until some of this shit's just fixed, because there's no fucking point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know. For me, the reason why I quit was just I hit that level 30 grind bump, and I was just like, I don't see myself continuing to put this much work into fucking leveling. This is ridiculous.
I get it. So, we talked about this a little bit, but Facebook, they did a name change. They're trying to do a name change to Meta.
Allegedly.
Yeah, to Meta. The big thing out of this,
I'm honestly kind of excited about this, man.
I don't give a fuck about. Are you talking about what the news about the Oculus? Side?
Yeah, like the Oculus version. Yeah.
So the Oculus news is that they're now ripping the Facebook requirement out of Oculus, and basically
that's an amazing thing. Actually,
it's huge,
that's
dude. Because
so
the thing that pissed people off with the Oculus was like when they first made the Oculus, they told everybody that there would be no integration with Facebook, right? And then Oculus got bought by Facebook, and Facebook was like, haha, fuck you, we're putting fucking requirements on Facebook login for it. You have up until this point to make a login for it, and after that point, you can't log in with your Oculus account anymore. So
to be honest with you, the Facebook requirements the only reason I haven't been like seriously looking at VR.
To be honest with you, it was one of the things that I looked at and that I was like, fuck, this sucks, because I do not want, like, first stream that I had with the Oculus, I doxed myself. Like, it has your name right fucking there.
Nice.
And there's no way to turn it off.
That's great. Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
So it's now going to be ripped out of that. They're going to have their own thing. Also, they confirmed that there is an Oculus Quest Pro as well as a Quest 3 that is coming out too. And they released some of the specs for the Quest 3, which is looking pretty interesting. It's going to have AR as well as
well, that's not a Quest. The one that has the AR and VR is not a Quest. That's a new project called like a Vera or something like that. It's a completely different system from what the Quest is.
When they announced all this stuff, they announced that it was going to be in the Quest line.
It's not the Quest 3 though.
Oh, I know. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm saying Quest 3. I'm gonna say. I'm okay. Sorry, it's in the Quest line.
I'm telling you, it's not the Quest 3.
All right, so it's in the Quest line, whatever that fucking means by Oculus.
And actually, if you really want to get on it, there is no longer Quest. It's now called the Meta or something like that. They're actually changing. They're actually changing the name of the Quest. There is no longer.
I think it's fucking dumb that they're changing their fucking name to Meta.
Sin's not gonna be joining or the Meta or whatever. He's gonna be all about the off Meta.
Yeah, he's about the off.
I don't know. I don't like the Meta. I think the Metaverse is fucking. I know why they're doing it. I think Facebook changing their name to Meta is fucking a terrible business name. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because of a lot of political and other bullshit reasons. It's got nothing to do with trying to better the company. This whole idea of the Metaverse is good.
Do you think a name change is going to make metagaming be more appealing, since a lot of people are disconnected from like even considering that as an option specifically just because it's Facebook? Do you think the name change people might be more inclined?
No, because again, it's still
keep all the things that Facebook stands for.
Like, it's just the biggest thing about it is that it's not like this is a whole evolution. Now over time, maybe they'll rip some of the stuff out like they're doing with Oculus. Like they're okay, cool. You go over here and do this. If meta gaming becomes its own entity of its kind of like a offshoot of Facebook, and it's not, or fuck, whatever, fuck.
It's confusing.
Christ. Yeah, whatever.
It's
like
really
if it can get away from fucking Zuckerberg, you know, or and be its own kind of thing, maybe. But like it's still a fucking just name change right now.
Speaking of Zuckerberg, and I don't want to derail it because I know we have a very short time. But did you notice
about Sweet Baby Ray's?
Yeah, did you notice in the background the fucking Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce holding up the books?
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes about it?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he was using that because Zuckerberg's an alien and doesn't know how we use fucking barbecue sauce.
Like, yes, humans, they enjoy barbecue sauce on everything. I have to relate to them.
Yeah. So hilarious. In the metaverse,
I think the biggest thing with that I'm most excited about is the metaverse for the Oculus. I am excited if they can pull that off and the things that they want to do with it. Which it's very ambitious, right? They want to basically
it's Ready Player One.
Yeah, they want to basically become Ready Player One with the Oasis, right? They want that.
That'd be sweet.
But if they
I don't want Meta. I don't
want
Meta to do it. I want someone else to do it, and you can access it via Meta. Like that's the problem. If you watched Ready Player One, IOI, like they put people in labor camps because of that shit.
I was
gonna
say Meta's gonna do it.
You want Zuckerberg? Fucking yeah, no. Like I don't want him anywhere close to it. Like Oasis, great. Let's have that. But
for sponsorship for the metaverse.
Fucking Christ, man. Like on that too, Halo, Microsoft is now getting into this metaverse thing. They've said that they are in for a metaverse with Halo, Minecraft, and all their other IPs.
No.
I don't know what. Like metaverse is now going to be the new NFT. It's the crypto. It's the hot buzzword. Like, and I'm not just being a fucking boomer. It's just everything is now going to be.
NFTs are a scam.
Yeah, 100% they are. I'm just saying, it's a hot buzzword.
Go right click your JPEGs and save them to your dashboard. Okay.
Yeah, then you have an NFT.
Spend $1 million for a CryptoPunk.
Yeah.
Another scam was that Squid Games cryptocurrency. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Anybody who didn't know that was a pump and dump is an actual idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We actually need to do a show dedicated nothing but to cryptocurrency and NFTs and like how big of a fucking bullshit it is.
You guys enjoy that, man. Like that fucking cryptocurrency shit confuses the fuck out of me, man. I don't know why. I just need to look more into it.
Yeah, it's a good documentary.
The only thing that bothers me about like where cryptocurrencies have gone is because I like the idea of crypto, like a decentralized currency system, but it is just exclusively becoming shit coins that you pump and dump. It's becoming harder and harder for people to take it seriously the more of these scams happen.
That until they can figure out a fucking way, like a way to not damage the goddamn environment to a point where it's like blockchains are fucking terrible for it.
By the way, really quickly, we got another 10 minutes in the podcast. So if you have any questions, get your questions in chat. Try and center them on what we've talked about tonight, or
that's been everything.
General,
but quickly to Riot Games, guys. We talked about Epic earlier on, and Riot Games, League of Legends, Valorant, TFT, all of their shit will officially be on the Epic Game Store. And so it's not a big shocker here. Tencent owns majority stake in Epic, as well as they own Riot Games outright. So this was just kind of a no-brainer. Yeah. But so you will see League of Legends on the Epic Game Store, which is terrible because I don't need
already seeing League of Legends characters inside of Fortnite.
Yeah. So I don't need any more toxic.
Jinx is already in Fortnite, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a side note, though, League of Legends Arcane, the animated series, comes out tomorrow.
I am excited about
on
that.
Netflix.
That looks really good.
It looks really good. So keep your eyes out.
I'm a little pissed about this move over to Epic, but like as long as
that.
like I was telling Sin earlier, as long as they don't pull a Dauntless, I think I'll be okay with it.
Bro, if I lose all my fucking money, if I pull,
I don't think they will. Yeah,
100%.
They can't. I mean,
I will lose my
if
mortgage.
They did, it would be terrible.
I will literally lose a mortgage. I mean, it's 100. I've dumped ungodly amount of money into that fucking game.
Yeah, we don't.
They wouldn't do. They would lose. I would say they would lose 80+% of their player base if something like what happened with Dauntless happened with League. People have been playing that game
It'd be drastic,
for
dude.
years. They've got so much invested into it.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
No shot.
I thought the same thing about Dauntless. Well, granted, it hadn't been around for as long, but I had quite a bit of money in Dauntless.
And the last little bit of news, guys, it's a sad one. If you are a Darkest Dungeon fan and you hate Epic as much as we do, you're not gonna be able to play it.
Fuck Darkest.
Not right now.
For a year.
Darkest Dungeon 2 officially early access release is on Epic. It's an Epic exclusive for a year. The icing on the cake, the cherry on top of all of this is not that they win Epic exclusive. It's that they win Epic exclusive and then the fucking developer, the lead guy, the CEO of the company comes out and says, well, developers made this game. We're the ones that made it successful. And pretty much we're spitting in the face of all, because they got a huge backlash from people being like, the reason your game was successful was, it was fun, but modders kept it alive. The Steam Community Workshop kept this fucking game alive, which is 100% true. And
the thing that pisses me off about that, right, is that, like, literally, if you go and look at if you own Darkest Dungeon, I think you can even look at it if you don't own it. But if you go and look at their news feed for Darkest Dungeon, the latest, like, I want to say at least 9 months has been nothing but mod spotlights.
Yeah,
from the developer.
That's shitty.
I can't wait for it to come out. Is it already out or no?
It's out on.
It's already out.
I can't wait, like, just to see all, like, the decline of, like, Darkest Dungeon 2 compared to 1. Like, it's not.
It's terrible.
I mean, the game itself doesn't look great compared to the original.
It looks nothing like the
Monster Train, like, kind of style.
They had a good thing going with Darkest Dungeon 1. People just wanted more of that. They didn't want an evolution of the brand. They wanted more of Darkest Dungeon.
I said it on Twitter the day that I found out about it. I was like, why would you completely upheave your player base and go in an entirely different direction from what your player base wanted? Like, your player base just wanted Darkest Dungeon with better graphics and more gameplay loops.
1.5. We wanted Darkest Dungeon 1.5.
Yeah. Even if they went down the route of, like, a 3D Darkest Dungeon, that people would have been fine with it. But this fucking, like, Monster Train bullshit that they did, I'm like, why? Why would you? You had something good. Why would you fucking completely swap over to something that doesn't work for your fucking player base? It makes no sense.
Huh? The developer says because developers make the game. That's the ones that made it successful, not you. So
yeah, well, I'd like to see.
They know what's good for it.
Yeah,
I'd like to see. I know that there's a ton of people on that. Like, I was over on the Darkest Dungeon 1 forums the other day. There's a ton of people that are just like, yeah, fuck you. We're good. We're not gonna buy it. You can fuck off with that shit.
Yep, they're all
Coke
pissy.
Carnage did say it was fun though.
Fuck Coke Carnage. Coke Carnage can
shows left and right for fucking games.
I'm not a. Yeah, that's another story.
That's a topic for a different day.
It's a topic for a different day offline this stream.
Is Co on the shit list now?
Co is definitely on the shit list
for a while.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Okay, we can talk about it later.
We might have to talk about this off stream. I don't want to fucking upset one of the community ambassadors.
Anyway, that's it, guys. If you have questions, post them up. But it's been a good show. We had a lot to talk about.
A great show.
Appreciate
show.
Yeah, appreciate everybody kind of hanging out with us. Again, you was not able to catch us live. We do this every other Thursday at 10:30 Eastern. Right here on my Twitch, Scruffy's Twitch, Enigma's Twitch, Bill's YouTube. Now, Bill, are you officially fully moved over now, or are you still doing some stuff on?
I'm officially fully moved over. Yes. Okay. Community nights will be on Twitch, but that is the only thing that's going to be continuing on Twitch.
So you can go find him at youtube.com/Billy_the_squid SKWID.
Yeah.
Head him over there and follow that. And watch him live and all his good VODs. He puts out some really good content too. Videos just about what's going on. Kind of in the gaming world, but on Elden Ring,
more specifically Souls-like based.
Yeah.
It's been very Elden Ring heavy recently, but yeah, a lot of commentary videos on that. Also, stream times have shifted. I am now streaming 9 a.m. Eastern time to noon Eastern time, so just a heads up on that one too. If you want to catch me live, it is now mornings, not evenings.
There you go. But Scruffy, Enigma, you guys got anything happening? Anything coming up this next couple weeks?
Yeah. actually next Friday, as in the 12th, I'm gonna be doing a 24-hour live stream.
Motherfucker, you're supposed. You know, by contract, you're supposed to let me know about these things.
I was going to.
He's letting you know now.
Yeah.
This is you getting the memo.
I am old, bro. You think I got 8 days enough is enough time? 7 days is enough time to fucking prep?
But it's kind of in like celebration of my new PC. I want to, go all out, play some party games, play crazy games I could never play before, and all that good stuff. So it'll be awesome. And also somewhere in that time frame of the 24 hours, we're gonna have Nutty Nady come over. He's in our community. Many of you probably know him, and probably some other friends. We're gonna do a pizza kind of mukbang kind of thing because there's a big debate that's going on between me and Nutty Nady.
Yeah, bro. Nady has such a terrible fucking opinion on pizza, man. Like, I love you, Nady. I love you so much, bro.
Says, but we're gonna show him that not all pizza is the same.
I love you so much, Nady. And I know the last time we talked about this, you were like, "Oh, I'm being attacked," but bro, you have a terrible fucking opinion. You're like Sin a take on most games opinion on pizza, bro.
Wait, excuse me? Wow. Get the fuck out of here, man. You could fucking, you know what? All y'all can fucking suck a dick. We're out. Goodbye. We're done. That's it. The nice thing is I have control over this shit. So watch this. Here we go. Bye.
Later, everybody. Sorry, Enigma, you don't get to talk.
Oh, apparently I don't get to talk.
Fuck you, Enigma.